Hello and welcome to On Point. I'm Simone Luca. And today we'll be discussing cyberbullying and the digital footprint. So, how can you prevent it from happening to you or your children who is being bullied, and what are the long-term effects? Here to help me, we have Jeff Lassiter, founder of the Jeremiah Project 51, and Mark Stevens, Director of Counselling Services here at CSUN. Jeff, why did you get involved with the Jeremiah Project?
My son committed suicide October 20th of last year. We got involved with. We found that there was no hope for kids, so we started the project, Jeremiah Project 51, to give the kids some hope, where they can go someplace and feel that their voices are being heard.
Okay, and what does the project aim at doing? Like, is it?
The project basically designed is to hold the bully responsible for their actions, and also make sure these kids are being taken care of by the districts.
And what can they do? They go onto the website and they call a hotline, or?
We have two 800 numbers they can call. One's for a parent and one's for a child. They can get me through our website, and we should have the text up hopefully in another month.
Okay. Mark, I turn to you. What exactly is cyberbullying and how common is it?
I'm not sure how common it is. I have heard anecdotal stories on a variety of levels, from starting at grammar school through college. Basically what bullying is cyber is the technique. Bullying has been going on for a long period of time. The cyber part is it just made it easier. There's more access to ways to go ahead and bully. But bullying basically is trying to intimidate, try to make fun of, really being mean and cruel to someone else and not taking their feelings into consideration. And it can have just drastic impact on people, from, unfortunately, the story of your son committing suicide to people living with that kind of pain for many years and really impacting who they are as a person.
Okay. And you were just talking about who's most likely. What about, is there girls are more likely to be bullied than boys, or is it more teens or grown-ups? Who's most likely to be bullied?
Well, historically, it's been guys against guys. And I understand that the women are getting into the mix here too. I'm not up to date on what the research is, but typically that's been a way for guys to have some sense of dominance over another person. The guys that bully usually get some attention from some other guys that are sort of patting them on the back while they're not really doing the bullying, but they're patting them on the back. And the guys that are typically being picked on, the people that are typically being picked on are guys.
Okay.
But we also found too that the girls are more vicious than the guys are. Girls are extremely vicious.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Good question. I really don't know. I mean, I guess maybe the girls are a little more vindictive. We found that the girls are just really vindictive to the other one.
And how? In what way do you mean?
They're more. We found that they're more vicious. I mean, we had one case where a 13-year-old girl was in a classroom, and she got cyberbullied. Her phone vibrated. She picked it up, and they said, "We're watching you." So she's looking around. She can't find anybody. Then she's going to lunch, and all of a sudden, "Hey, we see you eating a bologna sandwich. You're wearing a blue blouse or pants, and we're watching you." And she's walking home, the same thing. And finally, they found who was doing it, but it took a long period of time to find who was doing it, and it got more vicious on top of that. I mean, it was death threats and things like that.
Okay. Is there a difference then between like cyber stalking and cyberbullying, or they kind of go hand in hand?
I think they pretty much go hand in hand.
Okay.
In my personal opinion.
Okay. And is there a difference between, we talked about the technology is different with cyberbullying versus traditional bullying, but are the essentials the same? Are the reasons the same with cyberbullying versus traditional?
Yeah, pretty much. Like Mark says, it's just a different technique. I think cyberbullying is a little more vindictive because you know, with the technology now, you know, these kids are getting these phones that are like prepaid. It's hard to get who's doing it, so the sky's the limit.
Mark, do you have a comment?
Well, I think there may be, again, this is sort of an interesting research project. I'm just hypothesizing at this point. I think if you go 20 years ago, who was doing the bullying? I think you would have sort of a select sample. I think that sample might look like guys that were probably being bullied at home by their fathers or older brothers, or being yelled at or punched at or something that was happening, and they took that on and gave it to someone else. I think now that this generation is getting used to talking in a way that where there's anonymity, short words, people are used to interacting with just typing, not face to face. And my guess is that there's probably a little larger core of people that are getting involved in doing the bullying because they've been used to this interaction on the internet. I think something shifted about our generation because of that type of communication where, you know, if you're face to face with someone, you're going to use different kind of techniques, you're going to use your words differently, you're going to see the other person, maybe you have more empathy for them. But without seeing the other person or with technology, it's almost like it becomes a game. And I think more people might get involved because it does feel like a game and they forget what sort of impact it really has on the other person.
So who do you think is actually doing the bullying? Is it people that, you know, the bullies actually not, the bullied know, or is it people that they've never met before?
Well, most time the bullying is done because they know the person. As far as getting, it's mostly they know each other. That's basically what most of the bullies are. We found that normally somebody's a little weaker, so they feel that weakness. We also found that a bully is mostly it's mostly bred in elementary schools, and then it goes up from there. Middle school is probably one of the worst places to be bullied. I mean, you got to figure that statistic-wise, 30% of the kids that we send to schools are being bullied. So we're sending, if you just statistic-wise, 30% of our kids we're sending into a war zone. A lot of these kids, they can't even go to the restroom because they're afraid that they're going to be bullied, or they're going to be punched, or they're going to get something stole from them. A lot of them stay in their classrooms. A lot of them, we found that they'll attack the bully because they know they're going to get detention and they'll be pulled away.
Interesting.
So they're away from the bully, and they feel safe. We also found too that when, in my son's case, the last day, he had chili thrown on him and he was depantsed. And you know, something triggered him to do what he had to do. But this was years of being bullied. You know, so what we tell parents, what they call us at 51, you have to get activated. You have to know what's going on. You have to know what's going on in your district. You have to get involved with the PTA. You have to know what's going on. You can't no longer say it's the teacher's fault or it's the administrator. You got to get involved with it, and that's the biggest thing.